Next piece to ponder on. I had a discussion with one of our members about Gematria this week, and it's a code and it predicts stuff, or some people say anyway, and some people like to point to Gematria as some sort of mystic guide to determine the future and various other connections. And I've also been told some use it to bet on things, and I've had some success. But people don't ask, where did this code originate? Who put it together? And who presented it to the public, and why? We appear to know little of those answers to those questions, and a Google search is pretty pointless. It's about as valid as the Snopes.com site. But it brings up the following descriptions. Gematria originated as an Assyro-Babylonian Greek system of alphanumeric code or cipher that was later adopted into the Jewish culture. A Hebrew numerological system used in Kabbalah and other forms of Jewish mysticism that assigns numerical values to words based on the fixed numerical values of their letters. Did it come from the Hebrew? Now, my impression is that Hebrew and Kabbalah was introduced by the Anunnaki. So from that perspective alone, it raises some issues of what its real intention is. But what if this code is an ancient AI-read script of all the previous loops? If that's the case, of course, all the predictions will come true, as it's based on the repeat movies of the previous 5 loops. And how that worked, everything that happened in loop 1 was repeated in the subsequent loops of time afterwards, with minor adjustments for more control. And this is where Org Tellus fell short. His narrative is all based on the previous 5 loops, except they weren't even in sequence. It's like it was put in a spin cycle and then all randomly spat out. It didn't, and he didn't make sense, as this loop ends that repeat movie cycle. It's not going to be the same. Now, for those who are new, we were trapped into a Mobius loop that lasted 13,000 years per loop. That has lasted the last 78,000 years, trapped in a system. Now, this loop has ended, or about to end, depending on whose opinion you listen to, but we are no longer trapped in a Groundhog Day style system anymore. Things will change. But if you envision the Mobius loop, essentially it's 2 frequencies, waves overlapped, and the 2 of them come together at the joint of the loop, or the figure 8. With that disconnect at the junction of the figure 8, one wave will carry on its own, and the other will carry on its own also. They will no longer interject. One frequency is organic and one frequency is inorganic. This is the part of the 2 worlds theory that is mentioned in this show frequently. Their world and ours, and they will get further apart as time moves on.